Good evening and warm welcome to Power News, your window to the power sector. I'm Juhi Rajput. Today in this episode, we'll highlight the energy crisis in rural area and try to find out some feasible solutions. Even after 66 years of independence, millions of households in our country are still using kerosene for lighting their homes. People lack access to electricity, and for them, living in darkness is a way of life. Often a kerosene lamp is the only source of light in the household. Noxious fumes from burning firewood for cooking cause severe respiratory illnesses and claim a life every 20 seconds, mostly of women and children. Energy is the very basis of life. Insufficiency of it brings economic stagnation by lowering optimum productivity. Over one-third of India's rural population lack electricity. Of those who did have access to electricity in rural areas, the supply is intermittent, unreliable, and only for few hours. India's per capita energy consumption is one of the lowest in the world. Most of the villagers in rural India use kerosene to lighten their lives after sunset. Energy access is still a dream for many Indian rural villages.
Even today, around 32,000 villages are un-electrified and 70 million households use kerosene lamp, and it has its own adverse consequential impact on the health. Even if government plans to electrify all these 30,000 villages through grid interconnection, the overall expenditure will not be more than 15,000 crores. So instead of promoting kerosene use, government should seriously think of interconnecting villages by grid penetration.
Ministry of Power launched Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Vidyutikaran Yojana as one of its flagship program in March 2005 with the objective of electrifying over 1 lakh unelectrified villages and to provide free electricity connections to 2.34 crore rural BPL households. The RGGVY was launched in April 2005 with an objective of providing access to electricity to all rural households. Ministry of Power claims that against a target of 1 lakh villages and 1.75 crore BPL household, the government has provided electricity to 1.04 lakh villages and provided free connections to 1.95 crore BPL households. Even after this achievement, the overall power scenario in rural India has not improved.
हम ये जानना चाहते हैं आपसे कि ये जो खंबे लगे हुए हैं यहाँ पे बिजली के, इसको कितना समय हो गया और यहाँ से बिजली
15 साल
15 साल से यहाँ बिजली के खंबे लग चुके हैं मगर अब तक बिजली नहीं आई है।
कुछ नहीं।
Most of the states are struggling to meet their power demand, and to overcome this shortfall, they opt for load shedding in rural areas.
जब से लाइट आया, जब से 10 दिन आता है, 15 दिन गायब है, 20 दिन गायब है, कभी एक आध घंटा आ गया तो सब मोबाइल चार्ज करता है, जल्दी जल्दी लेकिन तनी कुछ करता है, फिर गायब हो जाता है।
In most of the states, power supply is shut for more than 9 hours a day in rural areas.
लाइन जो है सो यहाँ कभी तो आता ही नहीं है, कभी जरा सा हवा चलता है तो तुरंत काट देता है लाइन। 11 बजे रात में लाइन आता है, हम लोग बच्चों को पढ़ने के लिए बहुत कठिनाई होता है। ढिबरी से अभी भी ललटेन युग जो है, ललटेन से हम लोग पढ़ाते हैं बच्चों को। 6-7 दिन से तो पानी बिजली आया ही नहीं है। कैसे सरकार कहते हैं कि 8 घंटा 10 घंटा हम बिजली देंगे।
In addition to that, several states complained that transformers provided under RGGVY got burnt. Bihar is the worst affected state with 6,236 RGGVY transformers getting burnt, followed by Jharkhand and Orissa. It takes several months to replace these transformers.
हमने के 1 महीना से ट्रांसफार्मर खाती एकदम एरिया बातों ने एकदम तबाह हो गइल बा एकदम। अब कोनो हमने के
Another issue is that there are some regions where grid connectivity is neither feasible nor cost effective. Ministry of Power formulated decentralized distributed generation scheme to solve this problem. DTG projects can be taken up under RGGVY in remote villages where grid connectivity is neither feasible nor cost effective. Under the RGGVY scheme for providing access to electricity to all households, a provision of Rs 540 crore has been earmarked during 11th plan period as a subsidy requirement for electrification of villages by decentralized distributed generation in those areas where grid connectivity is either not feasible or not cost effective. Under the Remote Village Electrification Program, Government of India provide financial support for creation of facilities for lighting and basic electricity through renewable energy sources in those remote unelectrified census villages where grid extension was not found feasible.
Solar microgrids does make a financial and viable, that is a viable solution for providing electricity to rural villages which are at remote locations where the cost of providing grid electricity is much higher. There are 7,000 to 8,000 villages which cannot be electrified, they are not viable, and if solar microgrids provide electricity there, that will be a viable option.
So far, 276 projects have been sanctioned under DDG schemes in the states with total financial outlay of 357 crore. But till now, MNRE has released only Rs 16.74 crore for the establishment of micro-mini grid-based SPV power plants of 826.58 kilowatt per hour capacity in 40 villages in 4 states. Very few states have shown development on this front. Andhra Pradesh leads the tally as 14 DDG projects have been completed in Visakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh.
Implementing agency awards the work to the developer, and the developer has to operate and maintain that project for 5 years. Probably therefore, there seems to be some problem with the developer. Therefore, in 12th plan, we are contemplating to have a better model where a cluster of villages would be identified in contiguous area which may have grid connectivity, and some villages which may not have grid interaction. There probably the it may be financially a viable project even if grid is available, but during the peak hours, if the supply is not available, it could be made through DDG.
DDG scheme could be an effective solution to lighten rural India. But unfortunately, even after 4 years of its launch, most of the states have not come up with tender in order to find successful bidder for implementation of these projects. And in those states where state agencies have floated tender, they could not get serious bidders. It is indeed a very complex situation, as those companies who meet the technical requirement don't want to bid for these projects in rural areas due to lower return and smaller volume. And local entrepreneur who is willing to venture into it does not have the required credentials. Here we'll take a short break, but ahead in the bulletin you would get to see the stories of some young entrepreneurs who could overcome these challenges and have set an example for the country. Keep watching Power News.
Indian Energy Exchange, India's premier power trading platform.
From manufacturing of energy cables to EHV installations to renewable energy solutions to retail energy products, our technology energizes lives. Ravin, energizing lives.
रोहन, बेटा जल्दी रेडी हो जाओ एंड वेयर योर स्वेटर. रवि,
हाँ
जाते जाते 500 रुपए छोड़कर जाना. मैं एटीएम से निकालना भूल गई. वो ग्रोसरी वाले को देने हैं.
ओके.
Mom, I'm getting late.
1 मिनट रुको.
जिस तरह आप अपनों का ख्याल रखते हैं, उसी तरह हम ख्याल रखते हैं आपके घर का. L&T MCBs, engineered with extra care.
Power Grid Corporation of India, the central transmission utility, world-class integrated global transmission company with dominant leadership in emerging power market, ensuring reliability, safety and economy. Power Grid, building a smarter grid.
Welcome back. You're watching Power News. In a bid to harness renewable energy and empower rural communities with energy access, Mera Gaon Power has introduced a unique model to provide electricity to unelectrified villages in Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh. At times when even big companies are reluctant to enter the renewable energy market due to the huge costs involved, they have come up with innovative solutions to develop clean energy, which brings down the cost and is accessible by the common, even village folks. Renewable energy in India has always been a risky business, be it due to high input cost, unsteady market, or lack of government support. But these young entrepreneurs defied all this and much more.
Now we have 15,000 customers in less than 2 years, and we are focusing to hit around 25,000 customers in March end. And the demand is so much that we can't stop ourselves. In less than 2 years, as a startup company, 15,000 customers, it's amazing for us. It's amazing for the rural community when we talk to our first customer that now we have 15,000 customers.
Mera Gaon Power village level lighting facility generates electricity through centrally located solar panels and stores the generated electricity in batteries. Power is distributed over short distance from the battery bank to households within the village for 7 hours per night.
Our guys are deployed in the morning, and in the same evening our customers are getting lights. And model is simple. We are using 2 panels and two batteries with 1 charge controller, and we are providing 7 hours of light. It's very simple. We just install in one of the system's house roof, and our cabinet in which the battery bank is there. It is just installed in one room. And we draw a line, and after that with each distribution line we are just providing household connections with cables. We are giving them lights.
Every household gets light through LEDs, which reduce power consumption by 90%. Each household can get its setup of 2 or 4 LED and a mobile charging point at a one-time price of ₹40.
हमारे घर में बच्चे पढ़ भी नहीं सकते थे, पहले डिब्बियों में नहीं पढ़ पाते थे सर। और जब जिस चीज़ लाइट आई है सौर ऊर्जा की, तो सर हमारे घर के बच्चे भी अच्छी तरह से पढ़ लेते हैं।
जानवरों का चारा और घर के दैनिक दिनचर्या के कार्य जो होते हैं वो हमको जल्दी निपटाना पड़ता था। जब से सोलर लाइट लगी है तब से जो है दिन का काम भले ही रात हो जाती है, लेकिन कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है क्योंकि टाइमली लाइट आती है।
मटीरियल क्षेत्र है, यहाँ पर लाइट बहुत कम आती है। कभी कभी तो हफ्तों लाइट आती ही नहीं है, और आती भी है तो 1-2 घंटा आती है, जिससे कोई कार्य हो नहीं पाता है। कर्मचारियों के, अधिकारियों के मोबाइल नहीं चार्ज हो पाते थे थाने के, सभी के मोबाइल चार्ज हो जाते हैं, और प्रकाश की व्यवस्था रहने से कार्य भी करने में आसानी रहती है।
अब हमारे यहाँ लाइट लग गया है, जिससे हमको काफ़ी सुविधा हो गया है। हमारी दुकान पे रोशनी रहता है, और शाम को हम देर तक दुकान अपना खुला रखता है, जिससे कस्टमर रात तक आते रहते हैं। तो हमारी दुकान पहले चलती नहीं थी, अब थोड़ा ज़्यादा चलने लगी है।
Mera Gaon Power builds, owns and operates microgrids, and this unique model is able to provide service to a typical hamlet at an affordable cost, making it a commercially viable microgrid targeted at the rural poor.
डिब्बी जलाते थे तो मिट्टी का तेल महंगा भी पड़ता था। अब ये लाइट आ गई, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। 25 रुपये पड़ता है 1 हफ्ते के लिए, हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती है। 2 लाइट मिलती हैं और 1 चार्जर भी मिलता है हमें।
25 रुपया हफ्ते की इस लाइट में हम लोगों का बहुत फ़ायदा हो रहा है। कम से कम ये लाइट सस्ती पड़ रही हमको, और मट्टी के तेल से भी छुटकारा मिला। कोटेदार के घर का चक्कर नहीं लगाना पड़ता है। आराम से इस लाइट के नीचे हम लोग अपना मोबाइल चार्ज कर लेते हैं, आराम से सारा काम कर लेते हैं।
The revolutionary concept is not only a remarkable step in providing electricity to areas which are not on the power grid, but is also an emission-free, eco-friendly and comprehensive solution that caters to the needs of those at the bottom of the pyramid. Here we'll take a short break. Ahead of the bulletin, we have a report on an initiative launched by CNFC Media under its NGO arm JSR Foundation. Lightening Lives of Rural India is an initiative being launched to enlighten lives of thousands of rural households under CSR initiative of corporates. Keep watching Power News.
Indian Energy Exchange, India's premier power trading platform.
Jal, jal, jal.
जल से जल तक, मेगा वाटर से मेगावाट्स तक। SJVN Limited.
Power Finance Corporation, the most preferred financial institution, providing affordable and competitive products and services with efficient and internationally integrated sourcing. PFC, partnering the reforms in the Indian power sector.
Welcome back. CNFC Media, under its NGO arm JSR Foundation, has initiated Lightening Lives of Rural India program to provide energy access to unelectrified rural population for empowering their lives and connecting them to the mainstream of development. Through this initiative, JSR Foundation aims to lighten almost 10,000 unelectrified rural households in different parts of the country through solar-based microgrid system.
While government is making full efforts to provide at least some minimum power to every household, any initiative taken by any organization or the private sector in this regard is a very welcome step. We want a large number of companies to come forward and to work for providing energy in rural areas. One very major thing which is happening in the country right now is the use of CSR funds. While it is estimated that maybe 10 to 12,000 crore rupees would be available under CSR, we want that at least 2-3,000 crores every year should go into providing energy access in the country.
A bigger challenge is to develop a lucrative or at least viable business model around distributable generation, especially in rural areas. Limited rural income generally can only cover operating costs and some equity, leaving the majority of the initial capital expenditure to be supported by the grants and contribution from corporate world.
I think the new Company Act, under which the CSR has become mandatory, and every corporate has to spend certain percentage of their revenue towards CSR, and whereby the environmental sustainable solution is one such activity. I really strongly like to endorse the use of corporate funds for putting and setting rural electrification.
This effort can't be successful without gratifying cooperation of the corporate world and their generous support. We want corporates to adopt these clusters of villages under their CSR activity and lighten their homes with clean and green energy. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has extended its support to the program and would provide 30% subsidy support on total project cost after completion.
JSR Foundation has taken a very good initiative, and it is trying to go into remote areas in the country to provide energy through setting up of microgrids and mini grids. It's trying to involve some good companies in this field, and I wish them all luck and good luck and success in the future. And from this ministry, we will try to support them through whatever schemes we have, where we provide some 30% subsidy for such initiatives based on use of solar energy. I think this is something which will not only cover some of these villages which this foundation is taking up, but it will also provide good publicity and set good examples for others, so that others can also come forward.
JSR Foundation, with support of corporate world under their CSR initiative, would provide clean energy access to the rural people residing in remote areas. Our aim is to provide at least 5 to 6 hours of reliable electricity supply to these unelectrified villages, and thus bringing a change in their lives by providing them with a basic need of electricity access.
Many corporates, they just do the, they open schools and hospitals and health centers and all that. Those are good things also. But people should also see that there are large area of society, a country which no electricity. And if these corporate under their CSR program can electrify villages, 1 village, 2 villages, 10 villages, depending on how much money they want to put for this project, that would go a very long way in bringing light in the life of these people.
We make an appeal to the corporate to adopt these villages under Lightening Lives of Rural India initiative for setting up a decentralized solar microgrid system for providing electricity for the lighting need.
Corporate social responsibility towards providing power through microgrids or through JSR initiative is an excellent idea, and I am sure large number of corporates would come forward to empower rural households.
Solar energy can be crucial in ameliorating rural India's energy woes. With thousands of unelectrified villages, there is still a long way to go. And therefore, with every village we light up, we would be motivated to go a step further. To support this program, you can write to us at JSR Foundation 2013 at gmail.com and call us on 011-405-60706. With this, we come to an end of this episode of Power News. Keep sending us your suggestions and views. We'll be back next week with more news and updates. Till then, goodbye and take care.